County, and especially the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. As you can see, I have my head here. There's a little fella there. And we're going to find out all about what's going on this season. We got a new face or two here that you're going to meet, so stick around. Okay, I got a bunch of people here from the Tarp Skunks, and I'm really psyched. I got my hat on, I'm looking good. Okay, so I'm just going to announce who's here, and then we're going to start, all right? We got Randy Anders, we got Jordan Basile, and we got Barry Powell, who's never been here before. We're going to kind of initiate him into the program here. So welcome, gentlemen. So let's start with you, Randy, since you're closest and you talk faster than most everybody. So you contacted me and wanted to have a show today about that Tarp Skunks. And so who are the Tarp Skunks and why are you here?
Well, first of all, thanks for having us all
Absolutely,
here.
I love
Doc, we appreciate it. Today, usually when I'm on your show, I'm wearing my Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame hat.
You are.
But today, I'm here as one of the directors of Jamestown Community Baseball, doing business as the Jamestown Tarp Skunks.
Did you play baseball when you were a kid?
Yeah, not well. Not well.
That wasn't the question.
I had to be honest about that.
What position did you play? Hang on, I'll just slow down. Take a breath.
Right field.
Right field.
That should tell you everything you need to know.
That's
where you play when you can't play.
I heard you play left out.
So anyway, first of all, big win last night by the Tarp Skunks.
Okay.
The Skunks beat Auburn last night, 9-6, and they're at home tonight against Elmira at 6:30. I heard you mentioning some of the prices of other events that are going on in the county, and I got to tell you, the Skunks are as cheap as anybody. You can get into a Skunks game for $6.
$6?
It's even less for seniors and students.
Why are you looking at me that way?
We are seniors.
All right, what is a senior? Because people, there's different ages. I mean, you go to like one place and it's 50, some place it's 60, some place 62. 60.
If you look old, you're in.
Okay.
Okay.
So you plead old, you get. So how much are for seniors?
I think it's $5 in the bleachers.
All right.
That's a heck of a deal.
I'm there.
Okay. So the Jamestown Tarp Skunks began their life in the year 2018, right after the Jamestown Jammers left town.
Right.
And a group of community activists formed the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. We took 2019 off to get organized.
Right.
2020, we were locked and loaded. We'd hired Jordan. He had players ready to go. And we had this pandemic thing.
I interviewed somebody from Toronto that year.
That's right. He was our general manager at the time, Frank Fanning.
That's right.
He was our general
He
manager.
was on this little screen, and he was in Toronto or Montreal or somewhere stuck because of COVID. He couldn't come over here because he was supposed to be here.
All right.
I said, well, we're going to get him on no matter what. And so our crew put this in magic, and he was talking to us across the water.
So anyway, the pandemic kind of killed the 2020 year.
Yeah.
But last year, we finally got on the field. We were happy to have Jordan as our manager and Barry as our pitching coach. And those guys, along with a talented group of players, led us to a fantastic season last year.
We were all there. We were there for a game.
These guys were the Western Division champions last year.
Awesome.
And now we're into 2022. We're off to a great start again. Our record is 8-4 after last night. I think we're only about a game out of first place.
How many games you guys play?
48.
Woo!
24 at home.
Oh.
These guys play 6 days a week, Doc. They only get 1 day off. So they play 48 games in 60 days. That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of ball playing.
That's a lot of ball playing. But really, Doc, this show isn't about me. I think you ought to focus on our manager, Jordan, and our pitching coach, Barry.
All right. So, Jordan Basile, you were here the last time around.
Yep.
And we have a connection. Your aunt and I used to work together.
At
Bosie's.
Bosie's, yeah.
And and in fact, I ran into her at the night of the game that we all attended, and I hadn't seen her in quite a while, so it was really, really nice. So, yeah. Jordan, I understand you have a new job besides with the Tarp Skunks, right?
I do. I'm the head baseball coach at Fredonia State.
So how'd you land that gig? I mean, that's no small thing.
Well, it's one thing is my alma mater, so I'm 2009 Fredonia State grad, and I was also an assistant coach there in 2010.
All right.
And after a few years getting back to it, it all kind of fell into place and ended up being the head coach at Fredonia State.
You know, when you get really, really old and you don't want to be the coach anymore, you could go on the radio or television. He's got a great voice for that, don't you think?
Never thought about it.
Think about it. Think about it.
I did it a couple years.
There you go.
Yeah. And when I was in college, I was at WJTN for a couple.
All right,
years.
I knew that. I told you. I could tell
Jason
that.
Sample and those
Yeah,
guys
I know
from WRFA now,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we
that's
work
true.
together a little
Yeah.
bit. So.
Cool.
Jordan's too humble to mention this, so I'm going
All right, here
to
we
mention
go.
it for him. Jordan was a tremendous baseball player at Fredonia State.
All right.
He still holds records at Fredonia State, and last year he was inducted into the Fredonia State Athletic Hall of Fame.
Well,
So
congratulations.
you're in with royalty, today. Yeah.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Did you know she said he doesn't want to talk anymore, but he keeps jumping in the
Well, he
conversation?
won't talk about it, so I have to.
All right.
Well, the ceremony's supposed to be in October, but they delayed it 2 years, so I'm not sure if they really want me or
So,
not.
Jordan, what position did you play?
I was center field in college, infield in high school, but I moved to center field in college.
Okay. So, congratulations on all those launches. So, did you grow up thinking that you were going to be like Mr. Baseball all the way through? I mean, I'm assuming this is your livelihood.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's funny because during soccer season, I thought I was going to play in the MLS. During basketball season, I thought I was going to go to the NBA. And then during baseball, I was now going to the MLB. So whatever sport was going on, then I kind of had to weed them down a little bit. Basketball, 5'8", that didn't go too far. Soccer,
Gotta run a lot.
kind of moved away from soccer a little bit. I still think that I could be in the PGA golf, but that's never going to happen. But no, then it just, throughout high school baseball, just I knew that's what it was and something that I always wanted to do. So,
Okay.
it's
Okay. Now, you've been coaching how long now? I mean, the Tarp Skunks.
Tarp Skunks, this will be my second year on the field.
Okay. Now, you be quiet. I'm going to ask you a question, so you don't need to jump in. So, Tarp Skunks is not what the Jammers used to be. Jammers were like, I want to say semi-pro. See, you wanted to say? So, talk about the Tarp Skunks.
Yeah, so
This is really hard for you, isn't it? I'm just playing. You jump in anytime.
the best way to put it is, all these guys go to college during the year, and then they go home to families, or they leave college and go somewhere. So over the summer, it's an opportunity for them to get more reps so that they're more prepared when they get back to college. Now, there's all kinds of summer ball leagues in the country, and you can easily say that we're in the top 10 of those summer ball leagues.
Good.
There's a lot of choices, of course, that guys could come from. The one thing I say, though, is we had our first year last year under the Tarp Skunks name, and almost 100% of the roster last year wanted to come back to Jamestown.
Really?
And do this again. So, this is what we're doing at Jamestown, is trying to make this a destination for the players, give them a great experience, and that's what we're giving them. And we tend to, we find players from, last year I think we had 15 or 16 different states, and we're pretty close to that again this year. So
Okay.
they're traveling from all over the country to be here in Jamestown, New York,
Now,
or Chautauqua County.
Randy, I was playing about being quiet. Why did you guys decide to go this route with college kids as opposed to what the Jammers used to be, that level?
Well, the Jammers were a professional team, minor league professional. Our hand was kind of forced when the owners of the Jammers professional team, which was Rich Products out of Buffalo,
Okay.
they moved the team from Jamestown to Morgantown, West Virginia, when a new stadium was built in Morgantown. Well, as it turned out, Major League Baseball contracted and eliminated. How many minor league teams did they eliminate, Barry?
Like 40 affiliates.
They eliminated like 40-some teams, including the one in Morgantown.
Wow.
So professional baseball would have ended in Jamestown regardless because of the contraction of Major League Baseball. We were, in a way, fortunate to get out of it before the contraction happened so that we could get prepared for what Jordan and Barry are doing now, college wood bat baseball. And what's interesting is the students, the players that Jordan and Barry are working with are not a whole lot different than the players who used to be here when there was professional baseball here. They're still that age group, the 19, 20, 21-year-olds that are trying to get to the next level.
I could be their grandfather.
The only big difference.
You are their grandfather.
Shut up. the real big difference between the old Jammers and the new Tarp Skunks is that we don't pay our players.
Yeah.
Other than that, a fan of baseball would have a hard time seeing any difference.
Wow. Wow.
And I think too, just last year in the draft, we had over 20 guys out of this league that were drafted to go into the minor leagues as well.
Really?
So
Excellent.
The talent gap as well isn't very far away. So it's good baseball, and these guys are hungry too. They're here all year long, and you know, they're out there to win. And not that you weren't in the minors. These guys are hungry, and you know they got you.
All right. Well, I got through the first two, so we got to pull Barry in now. Barry, welcome to the show, and you are the pitching coach.
Pitching coach, that's correct.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you come from, how you got involved with this group, and all that stuff.
First of all, I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Sure.
It's a great setting. I was here last year. I'm originally from Danville, Virginia. You can tell by the accent. I hear that in a number of places I travel up here. But my background has been in baseball my entire life. I guess this will be my going on 47th year coaching.
You don't look that old.
Well, thank you. I'll give you a few bucks when I leave. I appreciate it.
I have that on tape, right?
Yeah, and by then, I hear the word grandpa, that's what Scotty James calls me, there's grandpa. But I appreciate that. You know, I'm very thankful and grateful to be here. Hopefully, you know, as you stay getting older, have your health and being able to get out and to, you know, swing a bat, throw a baseball, and be around these guys. But I'm from Danville, Virginia. Like I said, I grew up, I've coached high school, been in college ball, summer pro ball, and now I'm currently a scout with the Phillies.
Really?
So it gives me an opportunity to come here, to mingle with the guys, get to know them. My wife says if it wasn't for baseball, I probably wouldn't know anything. You know, because she says, I know if he's watching TV, he's watching baseball.
Right.
And if he's not at home, he's at baseball. She's very supportive. So my youngest stepson played 9 years with the Phillies. They got to AAA. So, you know, I look at the game from my standpoint. As a player in high school and so forth, and some in the lower minor leagues, to having a son. So I try to look at it from every aspect. I know the feelings that the parents have. You know, when your son's out there and he's struggling and away from home. And I tell you, Coach Basile does a great job with them, getting them in. We all have our roles.
Right.
You come in and, like I was telling Randy on the way up here, it's like you get in, you get to meet them. I'm just learning the names, to be honest with you. You know, from scouting, you have so many names. The guys ask me, got players at one of the ACC schools, and I said, hold on, let me get that. Okay, this is so-and-so. And then up here, but to learn the names and learn something about them. Our off days are very important to me because it gives me a chance in a comfortable setting to work with them. You know, find out where they're from. It's important what goes on between the lines, but I'm just as interested in what's going on outside the lines. And like I tell them, I say, look, you know, it's not my way or highway. We come in and working with pitchers is some days it's easy to throw the ball over the plate. Some days you struggle. But if you win them over and they say, hey, we're going to try to get something today that's going to help us tomorrow, and try to build some confidence, and let them know you care about them. You know, in my years behind me, I was a school teacher for 15 years. And it's, I think most school teachers will tell you that your students don't really care what you know until they know how much you care, so to speak. So it's a great opportunity to be here. It's a great setting. I was telling Randy again on the way up here that it's very obvious the reason this is a baseball team. It's a great stadium, all the people, it's a great effort. I'm just excited to be here and to be a part, and very thankful for Jordan. Jordan and I met at Patrick Henry Community College. I was at another a JUCO college that folded, and I was looking. I said, I gotta have baseball. I gotta be back in baseball somewhere. You know, I'm kind of it's running around looking for that. So he gave me an opportunity there. We've been together a few years, and then he mentioned up here. So it's funny how baseball will just, if you stay in it, the dots seem to connect. So it went from in Virginia. Here I am in Jamestown.
Right.
I've met another awesome guy here, Dr. Carlo, George Carlo. He's just a wonderful guy, and so making friends, and so baseball is it's really been a blessing for me.
So what did you teach?
I was health, physical education, and weightlifting.
You don't have to prove it by me. That would have been my first choice.
And Doc, and we weren't.
Thanks for that, right? I was a musician. This is a motorhead over here. So I have a question for you, Barry, and so I'm going to go slow with this. So, were you involved with the Phillies when they won the World Series?
No.
Before or after?
No.
After.
I've this is my second year.
Okay.
Scouting with them.
Did you happen to know a guy's name? His first name was Cole Hamels.
I knew the name. I know the name.
Yeah, he's a sure tell relative.
Oh, is that right?
He's from the rich side of the Hamels family.
He's from the guys that can catch and throw a ball, and he's a pitcher.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hamels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cole.
He contacted me one day, wanted to know what our family crest was all about and stuff like that. So, but he never did invite me to dinner. So, Cole, if you're out there, he's from Texas actually, but it's a long story. But I thought maybe you might know.
Yeah, I know the name.
Yeah.
Sure do.
Okay, so Tarp Skunks, for those that are just joining us for the first time or didn't catch the show last time, it's not exactly, like the Orioles or the Blue Jays or whatever. So where did you come up with Tarp Skunks? I know the story, but maybe the rest of the people don't.
Well, it's important to have your own identity. The name Yankees has been taken. The name Orioles has been taken.
It's
The
like
name Phillies has been
It's
taken.
like the Beatles.
Yeah. So you have to establish your own identity. So that's the most important thing. Second thing, it's important to have a catchy name, because that turns into merchandise sales. You're wearing our merchandise, Doc. So having a catchy name is important. So how the name came about. And my friend Greg Peterson is sitting over there, and he can jump in and correct me, but this is the way I remember it. When we first were getting organized as Jamestown Community Baseball, we were down at the stadium looking it over, and one of the things that you have to have at the stadium is a tarp to cover the infield in case of rain. And there was a tarp down at the stadium, but we didn't know its condition. So we asked the groundskeeper at the stadium, at some point you're going to have to roll out that tarp so that we can look at it to see if it's usable or whether we'll need to get another one.
No, we're talking big here, big tarp.
A tarp, it covers completely the infield.
Like 1,000 by 1,000 or
Oh, I don't
something.
know. What's the size of it, Jordan? Is it, well, it's at least 90 by 90.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least that.
It might be 100 by 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's big,
Sorry.
yes. It's the 6 guys in this room are not capable of pulling out that tarp.
Wait a minute.
How many guys pull out a tarp? Like
Team.
The whole
the
thing.
whole team. It's heavy. So anyway, we're talking to the groundskeeper at the ballpark about needing to pull out the tarp so that we can inspect it. He goes, okay. He says, but I'm going to have to go down there and make sure there aren't any skunks in there.
In the tarp.
The tarp is rolled around a big tube,
Right.
and it turns out that skunks were living inside that tube. Well, think about it.
Tubular skunks.
It's
Now, that could be a band name. The tubular skunks.
well, that's your genre. But so think about what a great place it is for skunks to live. They're
Yeah.
protected. It's dark.
Yeah.
There's food at the stadium.
Hot dogs and popcorn.
So he said, yeah, we got to see if there's any skunks in the tarp. Well, tarp, skunks in the tarp. The other thing, the gentleman that invented the infield tarp. And this happened in the late 1920s, early 1930s.
Okay.
It was named Howard Emke. He was a former Major League pitcher from Silver Creek.
Really?
Silver Creek. So the guy who invented the infield tarp was from Silver Creek.
Serendipitous.
So now we're saying, what a great way to honor the invention of the tarp, Chautauqua County event. And
In his honor, name him after a rodent.
there it is. So
Yeah.
tarps and skunks, you put it together, it's Tarp Skunks, and the name has been magic. We've gone national with merchandising.
Super.
It's a name you can't forget.
Absolutely.
You can try to forget it, but you can't forget.
I have to admit, when I
Tarp
first heard it, I
Skunks.
thought, But it grows on
It
you.
grows on you. Your reaction was very common.
Mm-hmm.
The first 30 to 60 days, we did a lot of explaining. You know, what are you guys doing? Are you kidding me? But now, we don't have to explain it anymore. I can't even remember the last time anybody asked me to explain how the name came around. They just accept that that's the name. I wanted to ask Jordan and Barry, what do the boys on the team think when they first hear the name? What kind of reactions do you guys get?
I think they're very excited, and I think certainly, appreciate the name.
Okay.
You know?
Because other places, there's like the Muttons and,
Yeah.
I mean, there's other names that are kind of unusual.
Jumbo Shrimp, Crawdads. I mean, Greg knows
I think
all
they're
the
very
minor
proud
league
of
teams.
it.
I mean, there's bizarre names out there.
Yeah.
But it's all about merchandising and establishing your own identity.
They wear their shirts, and I think they're very proud of it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And if you do come into the stadium, there's a very big sign. If you didn't retain all that, that'll teach you all that as well, where Tarp Skunks came
Oh,
from.
there's a little
too,
history
so.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the guys do come in, instead of me keep telling the story, sometimes see that sign on the wall right there. You and your families think.
But
read that.
when you think about, you were talking about Emke and the history and that he had been pro, there's, and right now I'm getting kind of goosebumps because I played, little baseball when I was in grammar school and stuff. But it's a throwback to when you put on that uniform and you know that there's a connection there, that's pretty cool. Really cool.
And we've got a wonderful mascot down at the stadium.
What's his name?
Whiffy. What else would you need for a skunk? Whiffy.
Whiffy.
Whiffy. And we have Barry and Jordan know we have a very loyal and raucous crew of supporters that sit right behind the dugout, and they are loud and they are into it, and they've named themselves
Here comes, I can't wait.
the Pew Crew.
The Pew.
You get it?
I get it.
I didn't want to
First thing
explain
you
that
know,
either. Doc.
the Pew.
Yeah. So, but my point is, the community and the baseball fans have embraced the name.
I thought you were
It's a
gonna-
home run.
I thought you were going to say they were the Stinkers or something like that.
Well, some games we do have some stinkers, but not last night.
Pew Crew. All right. Well, I'm learning stuff all the time. So, so anybody can answer this question. How's the turnout been as far as the public? Is it growing?
It's been great. It's been great. Tons of people there just last night and throughout, but also we had a kids' day just the other day, and what do we have, 2,100 at the stadium there?
What?
And it was,
That's got to be like a recent modern record.
yeah, it was loud. Our first base runner got picked off second base because he couldn't hear me talking to us. So, at least that's what we, that's
That's
what
a good
we said.
excuse. That
Yeah.
works for me.
But no, it was great.
What's the capacity? 3?
Just about 3,000. Last year we averaged 850 people a game.
That's pretty cool.
It's very good. That's a good turnout for college woodbat baseball. And we've had some really nice crowds this year. We've got some promotions coming up that I'll tell you about later in the show that will be good opportunities to fill all the seats again and be a part of the Pew Crew.
All right, I want to get back to these guys a little bit. I want to talk about their roles with the team. So, Jordan, what exactly do you do?
So I'm the manager.
Okay. That's not a coach.
What's that? Yeah, I'm the head coach. Yeah.
And manager.
Well, it's the same. It's the same. Same
Okay.
thing. In college, you'll call yourself the head coach when,
Right.
at the schools, and then when you get to this type of level. I guess you call yourself the field manager. Okay. I'm the head coach to put it.
So you yell at the guys and encourage them and explain.
I save that for Scotty. Scotty James takes care of that. But yeah, I do the best I can to keep sorgs. I'm also the guy that's on third base, giving the signs, giving all the signals, and
okay, so I have a question. I don't know the answer to this. Do you change the signs up, or are they always the same signs?
If we have to, we try to keep them the same. But you're always paying attention that guy in the dugout that's trying to steal your signs, or if they're sometimes there's a man on second base and they're relaying signs to their hitter that there's a fastball coming, so the catcher might have to go out and change the signs, and then no longer fastball is the first sign you put down, maybe it's the second sign you put down. So yes, to answer your question, they're always changing, but we do try to keep it simple for the guys as well. So that,
and every team has their own set of signs?
Every team, yeah.
So that must be a little tricky, bringing these guys in from other places and across how many states you said?
Tricky is an understatement.
Yeah.
We're still getting there.
So Barry, explain how that all works. How do you get these guys all on the same page?
That's a tough job sometimes. An enjoyable job, but a tough job. I usually ask, I say, okay, what pitches do you throw? And they start off with fastball, 2-seam, 4-seam, and I throw a curveball, and I throw a slider, and I have a change, and a split, and I have a knuckle change. And I go, okay, all right, how many can you throw over the plate? Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah.
And then I call the pitches majority of the time, and knowing what they can do, what you want, according to the situation. Every pitch presents a different situation, pretty much, and so it's that's the reason I have the Dr. Quallo says I have silver hair, with the gray hair. It used to be dark, but it's a little stressful at times, but I wouldn't have it any other way. They're and they come off the field, and it's I think it's important to give them something, confidence, mainly to make some adjustments. Some you can make more adjustments than others. It goes back to knowing the individual. Dr. Carlo has really been good. He has a little test, a little questionnaire you fill out. It helps you to. They were talking about the left brain, right brain, and I was Randy and I was kind of joking. I won't get him to check me. So I don't know where I'm at. Sometimes I'm on both sides of the road, But it's just learning the guys and knowing what they can do, what they feel confident with. They're on the mound in front of everybody. Nothing happens until they throw the pitch, and so it's pretty much like being on stage. Singing in the shower is one thing, but standing out there in front of 2,000.
I know what you mean.
So then I do a lot of hugging and licking and lapping, so to speak. Try to keep them positive, and then we've got to, once they pitch, we've got to get them back to where they're able to go back out and pitch. If they throw 20 pitches, hopefully they come back a day or two, and if it's 60 or 80, it's probably going to be longer. So it's constantly like the horse race. You got horses just moving in different positions all the time, but they do a good job, And like I tell them every day, I said, don't fire me yet, I work for you. You don't work for me, I work for you. I'm going to try to do the best I can. We have a lot of fun.
Good.
I like to work hard, but I like to keep a smile on their face. And when they leave there, I want them to leave wanting to come back. They can't wait to come back. Sounds good.
Cool. I got to ask you about a funny situation. We all went to the game last year. I sponsored it through the show here. And you had a pitcher that was really, really good, but he couldn't keep his hat on.
Oh.
What was that all about?
Ryan Broderick.
Yes, that's the guy.
Nova Southeastern, and that's a great question. What was it all about?
I've never seen anybody lose their hat every pitch.
Well,
we were laughing.
We told we could start with a haircut, but nonetheless, it's we kept bringing it up to him and said, "Do you need a smaller hat?" No, this hat fits me perfect. So we let it happen, and then it just got painful after a while to watch. It was every pitch, and give him a lot of credit because I don't know how you can continuously throw strikes while your hat is falling off every pitch. But he still did. But we did end up getting him a smaller hat towards the end of the season, so it wasn't flying off every pitch. It was just every other pitch.
It was so funny. But it was good fun. It wasn't, not in a mocking way. He really could bring the heat. I was really impressed.
Well, he would come off the field, and then he came in the dugout. That was only part of it. Then to go over and to to make contact with him and talk to him. So it was like, he's here, and then he's just like tracking the tiger in the cage. You know, he's over here and over there.
Well, there's 3 teachers here at the table. We get it, right? We all have kids like that in school. Oh wow! But that was a lot of fun to watch. So Barry, who's you can brag it up if you want. Is there anybody that went on to the pros that you say, wow, you should know that I helped him or worked with this guy?
Well, I don't feel like it's from anything that I've done. I was telling Randy earlier, from being in some of the college leagues over the years, I've had some young men to go on through high school. In high school, probably most recent would probably be Jeremy Jeffers. Jeremy was a first-round draft pick in 2003 by the Milwaukee Brewers. He was a hard-throwing right-hander, threw 102 in high school. Then Scotty Diamond has been back maybe. Time moves on so quick, maybe 10 years ago. He went on and had time with Minnesota. Barry Campbell went on and had time with the Mets, Carter Caps. So it's been a number of young men, a number of minor league players. Getting the opportunity to play professional baseball is very difficult. It's been said, I heard an older scout, I grew up with an older scout. He's passed away now, and I guess he instilled in me and just lit the fire. The spark was there, and he just kept fueling it. His name was Will Hill, and he played with Tim McCarver and Bill Freehand. With the gray hair in him, we probably remember everything. So he took me under his wing, and he gave me a lot of advice, to what to look for, to be around. So that's I owe him an awful lot. But at the same time, just to be able to give it to these young men and help them, it's rewarding. Like I tell them, to have a chance to play professional baseball is not many young men will get the opportunity to fail, so to speak. I mean, you're very blessed to get that opportunity. But, even if they play for 15, 20 years, sooner or later you're out in the real world. I want to be successful. I want to live a wholesome life, healthy life, and enjoy it as much as I have, because obviously getting older, I mean, let's be real. I tell the guys, I tell Scotty especially, I have a good time with Scotty. I said, Scotty, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here. You got to be here to take care of these guys. And Scotty gives me some answers, because I just love them to death. But yeah, it's just awesome to feel like maybe you help somebody a little, pass the baton along, and just like you do with, I'm sure you've helped many individuals with music.
Yep.
It's I enjoy helping people.
Good for you. Okay, now I have a question for Greg and for Barry and for Randy. Did your mothers throw out your baseball cards? Mine did. She swears she didn't. I can't find my Mickey Mantles and Roger Maris's to this day.
My mom did so much for me. We all live our mothers. My mom was a basketball player. On the first high school team where I grew up. It may not sound like a lot today, but back then, my mom was born in '29. So in the '40s, she played in the first basketball team. And I can remember my mom spending time with me in the yard, throwing, and I'm left-handed. I got that after my mom. I got right-handed after my dad, I hope. So, but anyway, it's that's where I get my right and left hand. There's somebody says, yeah, I'm right left-handed, I eat left-handed, but I throw right-handed. I'm bad right-handed. So yeah, with mom was my, we all feel the same. We should, I think, feel the same about your mom. But my mom was inspiration for our sport. My dad was very encouraging. He was a support foundation there, but my mom's the one that would shoot basketball with me and throw. So yeah, I think your moms are definitely mothers today. Should really be appreciated.
Right. How about your baseball cards?
I don't have a good story. How do you beat Barry's story? No, I don't have one, Doc.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you that at Cooperstown, New York, in one of the stores, when you're walking down the main drag, the sign outside says, "We have the cards your mother."
That's right.
And so I appreciate that, and I understood it. And I took a picture of it and sent it to all my children, saying, in case you're curious why you don't have a large estate coming to you, that's because of your grandmother.
We had, my brother and I, when you get to a certain age, you're not interested in that stuff, so we had them all tied up. They were in the attic, and my mom says, I did not throw them out. And then when she passed, I said, Dad, where's the baseball card? I don't know. When he passed, we tore that attic apart, and we could not find it. I think she threw them out.
Well, you know, back then, years ago, with your baseball cards, it was getting the bubble gum.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and then you had to have, your bike needed to have some noise. So you take the clothespin and put the card on the bike.
Well, we did, when I grew up in Buffalo, we would pitch cards. And if your card landed on another card, you could claim that kid's card. I lost cards that way and I gained cards that way.
Right,
so
yeah.
I don't know if you
It's
ever did it. Yeah. Like pitching pennies, you know, that type of thing.
Right.
Okay, Randy, you got a book here. Let's talk about it.
Doc, this book is
Let's
called,
zoom in on that. There, he's ready. Look at that guy. He's done this before.
it's called Our Game,
Uh-huh.
subtitled From Unknowns to Tarp Skunks. History of Baseball in Jamestown, New York. 155 years and counting. Unknowns was the first baseball team that Greg ever uncovered back in 1866, maybe, Greg? There was a,
This was the name of
that was the name of the
team.
team, the Unknowns. Their merchandising wasn't very good, so that's why we don't remember it anymore. But so that was the beginning of organized baseball in Chautauqua County back into the 1860s, and we've had a continuous history of baseball in our county ever since. And this book that the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame published tells the entire history of baseball in Jamestown, New York.
So who put it together? I mean,
Well, we did at the Sports Hall of Fame. We had two authors that worked on it. One was a guy named David Muley, out of, where was he from?
Connecticut.
Connecticut, and the other author was Scott Kinberg from the local
we know
Post
Scott.
Journal. So we put it all together, and it tells the complete history. These books are available for sale at the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame.
Okay.
They're available for sale down at the ballpark, and they're also available for sale online at the ChautauquaSportsHallOfFame.org.
And they are how much?
They're $25.
Okay, that's a pretty average
These
price.
things are wonderful gifts for anybody who shows any interest in baseball. Anything you want to know about baseball in history in Jamestown, New York is here. It spends a lot of time talking about the history of the stadium that these guys play in. That stadium was built in 1941.
Okay.
So 81 years later, these guys are still playing on the same grass that Nellie Fox and Randy Johnson played on.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
and
That's right.
you can find all about it in this book.
And I would bet when these young players come to Jamestown and they see that book, that's gotta say, wow.
I put a big poster in their locker room. Thanks to Greg and Russ Dietrich, we collected baseball cards of everybody who ever played in Jamestown
Oh, wow.
that made it to the major leagues. 260 some ball
Really?
players.
Really?
And we created posters of those baseball cards. Those posters are also for sale at the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. But anyway, we put a couple of those posters in the locker room so our current players would have a sense of the history of this community and who they're playing for. They're playing for Jamestown.
Would you send me a picture of that poster and we'll put it on the air next time?
Absolutely.
Yeah, send me
Well,
some.
anyway, Doc, we would like you to have this
Well,
book
thank you.
for your support of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks.
Absolutely. Terrific. Hey, we're down to 2 minutes. So let's go real quick. Jordan, you've been kind of quiet because, well, you got these 2 minutes. So anything you want to tell folks?
No, come on. Biggest thing is come on down to a game. A lot of fans of my friends last year and came down to the games, and they said one thing was, I don't even really like baseball that much, so why should I come down? And then they left the game, and they said, I had the time of my life at a Tarp Skunks game. But it's fun. The players embrace it. Really appreciate your support, and we couldn't do all this without you guys, so we hope to see you guys down at the park.
Okay, Barry Powell.
Yeah, we love to see everybody there. It's for me, I'm an out-of-town guy, so every face I see is different. Learning people every day. It's a warm atmosphere, not only for the adults, but also for the kids. So, you bring your kids out, you can bring your family out. It's good, wholesome entertainment, and look forward to seeing you there.
As I recall, Mike Ferguson used to say it's the greatest game on dirt.
There you go. Let me give you a couple of promotions for your people to pay
Absolutely.
attention to.
Okay.
So tonight, 6:30.
Tonight, 6:30.
Tuesday, 6:30.
6:30.
Wednesday's a double header. First game's at 5.
Okay.
Next Friday, that's the 24th, fireworks. And Monday, the 29th, $2 night. $2 to get in, $2 for a hot dog, and $2 for an adult beverage.
Dinner on Randy. Folks, I think most of us got this in the newspaper. It's the 2022 program for the Tarp Skunks. So I think that's got a lot of stuff in there. Guys, we're really down to no time at all. Thanks for joining me today. And I wish you a great, successful season. And nice to meet you, Barry.
Thank you.
Jordan, again, good to see you. And Randy, it's always lots of fun to have you here and tangle with you for these things. And Greg, thanks for coming by as well. So, folks, that's a wrap. Remember, we are not here next week live. We're going to see you in July. Happy Father's Day, and take care, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.